Welcome back, Easy with the Chuck, and today we are playing the roughest, the toughest, the most annoying mod pack out there, RLCraft. Now, if you don't know what RLCraft is, then let me give you a brief rundown of the mod pack. RLCraft is a mod pack created by Shavaxi, and the only goal of this mod pack is to make the game as brutal as possible. It forces you to worry about your character's hunger, thirst, and temperature. It also makes simple tasks a lot more difficult while giving your body parts their own health bars. And when your health and body bar is empty, then you die. The mobs in this pack are brutal and don't care about your well-being. They are relentless and they only have one goal, and that goal is to see you die. I only have one goal myself for these 100 days, and that is to kill 3 of the RLCraft main bosses: Rohovart, Lord of the Underworld; Asmodeus, the demonic mastermind; and Amalgalich, the mad Lynch King. Can I vanquish these demonic beasts, or will I turn to dust like the people before me? But before we start this video, I would just like to say that this video took an extremely long time to make, and if you enjoy it, please like and subscribe. It's free and you can always change your mind later. It helps the channel out a lot. Now, let's get started. I spawned into some water and immediately got attacked by those stupid birds. I managed to escape them, but while looking for some resources, I got killed by a dang dragon. It was never meant to be, because... Alright. I respawned in some deeper water this time, and I found some land quickly. I started gathering the basic resources for RLCraft, and I ended up finding this floaty castle thing while doing it. I explored it for a while, and I debated making it my base, but on the other side of the castle, I saw some structures on land, so I wanted to check them out first. And it turns out it was one of the rarer structures in RLCraft. This building here is usually protected, and it has a ton of food and good enchantments. I'm probably gonna use this place as a temporary base, or maybe a main one until I find something better. But I'm gonna make sure the rest of the island is safe before I do that. I set my spawn and I looked around for some loot. I found a ton of food, arrows, and some really good enchants, including an infinity bow enchant. I also found the clock so I can check what day it was without having to count each day manually. This is really good since you can't check what day it is in RLCraft without one. I also did some exploring around the surrounding areas, and I found a librarian villager who had advanced mending 5. This is an insane enchant to find in the first few days, and I'm going to use it very later in this video. I would say I got super lucky with this start, because usually it takes a couple days for me to even find a hut, but I found something good this time. I found a compass and I used it to make an atlas, and now I have a map that I can use. I upgraded my gear to stone and went out to gather some XP to level up my skills. I needed to get all my skills to at least level 8 so that I can use better gear and items. After I killed a cow, I did get attacked by a reaper, and it scared the hell out of me. But I'm not the same anymore. I'm a lot better at Minecraft now, so I killed it with ease. I'm already getting sick and tired of always being thirsty, so I need to find a way to counteract that. And I ended my night making a fishing rod. I spent the morning killing mobs for XP. I also wanted to try to kill the sirens near my base just in case I lose my earplugs and get dragged in. But my plan didn't really work out that well because they were too far away and I would have died in the water. I killed more mobs for XP and the leather so that I can make a canteen. And I really need to find some chickens so that I can make some avian treats so I can get me a mount. I spent the night killing mobs for more XP, and I ended the night making my canteen. I spent the morning killing mobs for more XP, and I explored for a bit and found some chickens. Now, all I need to do is just find a few more, and I can make my avian treats. Night looks amazing with this shader pack. I just wish that things wouldn't try to kill me every 5 seconds. I fought more mobs to start this day off. The skeletons have amazing aim in this mod pack. It's like they have an aimbot. If it wasn't for the armor that I had, I would have died right here. I did some light mining as well, but I was so scared that as soon as I broke a block, I was gonna get attacked by something and it would kill me because that's just how my luck is. I went to look for more chickens, but I couldn't find any, and it started to get really cold. I started to get hypothermia, so I had to find a warm place very quickly, and while trying to get warm, I got attacked by these freaking mobs and almost died. But like I said, I'm not the same no more. I've gotten a lot better at Minecraft, so I survived. I woke up this morning being attacked by a lurker, and man, these things are a pain in the butt because they blind you, then disappear, then blind you and disappear. I wanted to make some filters for my canteen, so I went out to get some wood, and this tree literally scared the hell out of me. I swear to God, these jump scares in this mod pack is going to give me a heart attack. I made a boat this morning because I wanted to do some exploring on the other islands. I had to be careful of the mobs in the water though, because I didn't want to get dragged in by something. I killed a crake for the XP and I found more chickens. Now it's time to try to get a flying mount. I also went into this small underwater structure, but there really wasn't anything inside of it. I made my treats, so now all I needed to do was find a rock to tame. That night, I went out to find a rock and I didn't have to wait long because this guy showed up immediately. But he wasn't satisfied with my 4 treats, so I had to put him out of his misery. And now I need to find more chickens. I went out looking for more chickens this day because I was in desperate need of a flying mount. It took a while, but I finally found my chickens, and this time I made sure to get enough so I can get my rock. I found one of these floating ender things and I went to check it out because they usually have some pretty good enchants. But I only found a recall potions and some decent enchants. I found a battle tower that I wanted to save for later, and I spent the night looking for another rock to tame. And instead, I got attacked by a Morok. And these Moroks are one of the better mounts in RLCraft. They're like this really strong brute, like wyvern type thing, but I didn't have any dragon treats on me. I found a rock, but it got killed by the Aegis protecting the base, and then I got blown up by a creeper. I came back and I got killed by a strider while trying to get my stuff, so I decided it was time to go to sleep. I got my stuff back and went out to explore for a bit. I found and killed more chickens, and now I should be good. I went back to base and made my avian treats. I really wanted to make a soul stone so that if my mount died or got lost, I can just summon it to me. I waited for the night so I can go look for a rock, and I was doing fine until this blighted spider came out of nowhere and killed me. I got my stuff back and went back to look for the rock, and instead of a rock, I found a Ventoraptor to tame. This is a pretty good defensive and offensive mount, and the first fight that it had was an L. And it was probably my fault that it died, but it died. I finally found a rock to tame, and it literally almost got me killed by a creeper. But now I have the mount, and all I need now is a soul stone. I am now a flying man. Getting a flying mount in this playthrough is going to make it a lot easier. I also tamed another Ventoraptor. I got on my mount to look for more structures, and I also brought my fishing rod to see if I can still cheese towers, and long story short, I can't. I also found out that this area has those giant flying ants or wasps or whatever they are, so I had to be very, very careful. I wasted the whole day trying to cheese this golem only for it to not work at all, and I also found out that a dragon is very close by. I wanted to try to cheese the tower again, so I made another fishing rod, and I also made some knockback arrows. The knockback arrows worked very, very well, and I also found a ton of great loot from the chest. Now I can make my soul gazer and my soul stone. I also found a good amount of XP to level up my skills as well. I went back out exploring this day. I brought my fishing rod and it still didn't work, sadly, so I had to use the knockback arrows, and I stole the loot from the battle tower. Who needs mining when you have battle towers to cheese? I made my 2 soul stones for my mounts, so now they can die as much as they want, and I went out to explore this underwater thing because they usually have some nice enchants in there. I found some runes and some decent enchant books as well. I found this really cool place in the middle of the ocean. I took the wheat for XP and I cleared out all the mobs inside. The loot was pretty good in here, and I found an enchantment table and anvil as well. I found a ton of fish in this dispenser, so I stole it. And I went up the windmill over here, and it didn't really have anything, to be honest. I went back to base to put away my loot, and I also made my summoning staff. I went right back out to explore, and I found another one of these ocean base, but a random golem popped out of nowhere and scared the hell out of me. I think my game is just either tripping or I'm tripping, so I decided to leave after finding some enchantment books. I did some more exploring these days. That's the kind of thing that's going to be happening from now on, to be honest. I'm just going to explore. I found a battle tower, and I wanted to use my summons to beat the golem, and it did not work at all, but I still got my loot, so ha. But I almost did die after getting the loot, but I didn't die because I'm better at the game now. I didn't really do anything on this day, but I found a floating tower. Okay, so on this day, I did something very, very stupid. And you're going to see it, and you're going to be like, that's stupid. Why would you do that? And honestly, I don't know why I did it. I wanted to jump down into the water because I thought it would be like a cool shot, but I'm so dumb that I did it wrong and hit a tree and killed myself. Now I had to wait for my rock to spawn, and I had to go all the way back over here to find my stuff before it got washed away. And when I came back, I found a lot of my stuff, but I also lost a good bit of it. So I guess that's lesson learned. Don't be stupid. And I got tired of looking for my stuff, so I found a village that was close by. I spent this whole day struggling to keep myself cool, and I was also waiting for my mount to respawn so I can go back to base. That night, I went out to kill more mobs, but this time I was using my summoning staff. Honestly, I really have to stop taking RLCraft lightly because every time I get comfortable with it, it literally has to put me back in my place immediately. After I died, I realized that I messed up on my spawn because I used the waystone last time, so I ended up in this village instead of my bed. The only good thing with the situation is that even though I die, RLCraft doesn't allow your stuff to despawn unless you close the game, so I was gonna be fine as long as I got back. I'm not gonna lie, I spent the next couple of days lost. I couldn't figure out where I was going. I tried to use landmarks I was familiar with to find my way back to base, but without an atlas, I literally just felt like I was going in circles. I finally found my way back to base after like 2 hours, and I was very mad. I got my stuff back and went back to exploring immediately. Let's just say I'm very hard-headed. I made some beast treats and went out looking for a mount to tame, and I saw a cockatrice out there. Now, a cockatrice is probably one of the best mounts in the game, if not the best mount. It has like a paralysis effect, and it's super tanky and strong. So I went back inside to get my beast treats so I can try to tame this mighty chicken, and then I got attacked by mobs, and by the time I was done killing the mobs, the mount despawned. But I also found another blighted mob instead, so I used my summons to kill it and got a ton of XP. I killed another super strong mob and I got more XP from it. I leveled up most of my skills to 10, and then I switched out my gear from stone to iron. I made a saber and a rapier because they have like really good effect with your mounts, and I wanted to test them out that night, but I almost got killed immediately after gaining some level. I didn't do much on this day besides kill a few strong mobs and look at all my items in each chest. I went out to explore more this day, and I found out that this tower over here has a ton of iron blocks and quartz blocks, so I spent some time mining them. I looted another battle tower and I found a new village. Honestly, the waystones in the village are probably the only way for me to travel around quickly without flying around endlessly. I found another star from one of the battle towers, and I'm going to use this nether star to make a waystone in my base. I did some more exploring on this day, and at the end of the day, I found and looted a battle tower. All I did this day was fly around, but I found a village at the end of the night, so I went back home and killed some more mobs for XP. I started this day in the worst way possible. I got blown up by a creeper again, and I spawned back at the last village I was in since it was the last place I used the waystone in, and I had to wait for my freaking mount to respawn so I can come back and get my stuff. I really need a faster way to get back to base, and on this day I finally gathered all the things I needed to make my Stone of the Sea trinket. Now, what this item does, it lets you breathe underwater. It also gives you like underwater speed boost, so you're very quick. And the best part of it is it lets you drink unfiltered water without getting that nasty thirst debuff. I also used that nether star I got a while back to make a waystone, and I placed it down in the middle of my base. Now I don't have to fly all over from the other villages. On this day, I decided that I wanted to try to make something kind of cheesy, but I also felt it was very necessary. I wanted to make an XP farm because if I was going to do all the stuff I wanted to do in 100 days, then I needed to find a way to get stronger a lot quicker. The first attempt I tried at making it didn't work out, so I decided I wanted to make a more compact version. After a few days of trial and error, I finally got it working the way I wanted, and this was a quick and easy way to get XP. But the problem is that if I'm not careful, I can get hit by the mobs and die, and also if I kill too many of these elementals, then it's going to summon a strong elemental like this one to try to kill me. Also, after I freaking finished making my farm, something horrible happened. A freaking blood moon decided to happen in RLCraft. And this was honestly a horrible thing because I couldn't figure out why I couldn't sleep. So I just kept dying until I noticed the blood moon. And after I realized that I was trapped until the sun came out, I just decided I was going to wait it out. all I did in the next couple of days was farm XP with my XP farm. Since I leveled up all my skills to be able to use better gear, I decided to make better gear for myself. But while this was happening, a freaking event started out of nowhere. I ran inside for better protection and I summoned my minions to help kill all the mobs, but I still got killed anyway. Damn, bro, I go out there for 2 seconds. Bang, 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 bang. And after all the mobs despawned, I decided to go back to XP grinding. On this day, I made a diamond bow and I enchanted it with the infinity enchant that I got on day 1. I also enchanted my rapier with sharpness 4, and then I got more XP so I can add more enchants. The next couple of days, I kept grinding XP and playing around with the enchants, trying to make my gear as good as possible until I got the best, gear I can. I tested out my gear at night against some stronger mobs and they worked out pretty well. I also made an enchantment table so that I can take the enchants off the bad gear and move them on to the better ones. Now, I started doing some exploring after I got my enchants, but when I was scripting for this video, I couldn't tell what day it was because the only way you can check was by looking at a clock, and for some reason during the couple of days in this part of the video, I just refused to look at a clock. But I looted a battle tower and got a shield trinket that negates knockback. I also found a city that looked pretty cool, but it was being attacked by a dragon, so I left. I looted another 2 battle towers and got a projectile protection 4 book and an XP tome. I found a giant town while I was on my adventure, and I found a throne made of solid emerald blocks, and it was fantastic. I also found a ton of iron blocks. I looted another battle tower and found this really weird structure, but it didn't really have anything valuable there. I found another one of these structures with nice enchants next to a village, and then I went back home and started enchanting again. I crafted a reforged station and tried to get better quality on my gear. I wasted a ton of diamond doing this though. And I also got blown up by another creeper. What is that now? Like 3-4 times now? I made a ring of resistance this day and I liked it so much I ended up making a second one. I did some more XP grinding and enchanting these days. This is something that's going to be happening constantly since I'm constantly trying to make the best gear I can. I went exploring on this day and I looted another battle tower. I didn't have those knockback arrows anymore, so I had to kill the golem with Aegis. I had to loot the top 2 floors super quickly because the tower was falling apart after I killed the golem. I got super lucky in the chest and found some Aussie liners, and then I added them to my pants and kept it pushing. I got jumped by these weird scorpion things this day, and then they ended up killing me. I went back and got chased by them and killed again. I got my stuff back and went back to the farthest village I found so far for some more adventuring. I found another librarian villager with advanced mending 5, but the enchant were not that good at the top of the structure. I looted another battle tower and decided to raid this dungeon here. It was easy to kill the mobs since I had my mountain summons, and I got a ton of XP from killing the mobs. I got a few totems of undying from a chest and even more XP. Eventually, I had to go back to base since I ran out of inventory space though. I wanted to try looting one of those mega battle towers that I always see, but I decided I was going to try to cheese it from the top instead. I dug into the side of it and had to dig through obsidian, and I made enough space in the side of it to summon my pets and my Aegis, and then I used them to kill everything here while I looted. My plan worked out great and I was able to loot all the chests pretty easily, and I also found some fantastic loot. At the end of the night, I ended up taming this brute dragon. I decided I was going to start at the bottom of this massive battle tower this day and work my way up. The amount of mobs I killed and the XP I was getting just seemed endless. There were so many things attacking me constantly. I was in here for so long, but the XP was just too good to pass up. I went to go loot the other giant battle tower that I previously found, and it was much of the same like the last battle tower. I got more potion rings, and most importantly, I got glowing dust. I used another nether star I got and made this potion ring of regeneration. This ring is so valuable to me. I wanted to make a dragon eye because it's the best bauble in the game because it lets you have night vision. It lets you see chests and other items you specifically look for. And then it also gives you complete fire resistance. But I was still missing quite a few items from it though. I looted another giant battle tower and I got 3 full XP tomes. I started stacking up on these XP tomes so that when I needed a ton of XP, I wouldn't have to grind for it. I looted a regular battle tower and got a fantastic bauble called the Broken Heart. And what it does is when I take lethal damage, it damages these heart containers instead of my actual health. And all I have to do is sleep to regenerate the heart containers. I ended the day looting another battle tower, but I didn't really get anything good from here. I looted another battle tower and found another massive tower to loot. I needed a fire dragon skull for me to make my dragon's eye, so I decided to try my luck at fighting a dragon. I tried using my summons to help, but it didn't really work out, so I just shot it with my bow. It killed my mount almost immediately, and if it wasn't for feather falling on my boots, I would have died right here. I waited for my mount to come back and try it again, but then my mount was killed once again. I really needed a better mount and maybe some pet armor as well. I decided to make some dragon bone weapons so that I can do more damage, and then I got killed by this crazy demon that came out of nowhere. After I got my stuff back, I killed these wasps that are building a nest over here, and then I farmed more XP to level up my skills so that I can use my dragon bone gear. I decided to try fighting another dragon today because I really needed that skull. It took me a while to get used to fighting on the back of a mount, but after I got the hang of it, it was pretty simple. After the dragon landed, it was pretty much over. I used the blood of the dragon to make flaming dragon bone weapons, and then I made my dragon eye as well. Now, I really wanted to kill another dragon for the skill so that I can make my armor as well. The fight was going good until, again, it killed my mount. Now I had to fight this thing on foot, and it was not pretty. I waited for my mount to respawn, and I went back to shooting it, and once again, my mount got killed. I finally killed the dragon, and I got my skills to make my armor. I made my armors and got my emeralds so that I can go back and get the advanced mending 5 books I found previously. I enchanted my weapons with the books, and I also added some other enchants as well. I grinded some more XP, and then an event started. I had to fight all these freaking demons. It was going fine until this happened. This little freaking demon attacked me and killed me again. After the event was over, I got my stuff back and I went back to enchanting. I did some more enchanting over the next couple of days, but I decided I wanted to go back out to try to get more bones and scales so that I can enhance my gear. I started fighting this dragon. It was going great until this freaking happened. Now I needed to figure out a way to get back to my stuff without being burnt to a crisp by the dragon. I took some arrows and a saber alongside some resistance rings and some armors that I made to get back to the dragon. I had to avoid being hit because even one hit was all it took to kill me. I ran out of arrows, so I needed a new plan, and the plan was to get my stuff before I got burned to a crisp. My mount died as usual and left me on foot, and the dragon was pissed off. But I got super lucky and killed it before it killed me. I looted its body and got my stuff back, and then I went back home and started enchanting again. It kept getting colder, so I decided to make some liners so I didn't have to worry about it anymore. I went back to another massive battle tower and I looted it for everything it was worth. And then I went back and got more mending books. I found out on this day that I can make return scrolls, and most importantly, I can make grave scrolls, so it would let me come back to my dead body very easily. I made a ton of both and kept some on me and kept the rest in a safe place. I also made a summoning pedestal so that I could always have something protecting my base. I made this polarized stone bauble that could repel projectiles from me, and it worked pretty good, but it also made me extremely hungry as well. I bet you didn't know when your character is starving, everything turns gray, and that's just a fun fact. I did more enchanting and XP grinding on this day, and I also fought another dragon as well. And once again, my mount died, leaving me stranded against a fire-breathing devil. The fire ended up summoning a bunch of cinders, and then the dragon also trapped me in this small river, but I still managed to kill it regardless. Even after the dragon died, I was still getting attacked by these freaking cinders. I looted a battle tower and went back to base to put my stuff away, and then I ended the day by enchanting. I wanted to go to the Nether this day because I finally felt like I was strong enough not to die as soon as I spawned in there. So I built my portal and I went in. I killed some demons to test my strength and I hopped on my mount to explore. I found the fortress and explored it for a bit, and while I was in there, I forgot that I had no way to get more water while I was in the Nether, so my time in here is going to be very limited. I found another dungeon nearby, so I went to check it out, and I killed the mobs in here with my summons, and it was pretty easy. I fought a boss called the Baron of Hell. He was pretty weak, but he did drop a demon soulstone. My vision started going blurry from the thirst, and then I had to find out that I couldn't even use a recall potion to get home. And when I tried to use a scroll, it would crash my game. But luckily there was a pre-built portal close by and I used that to get home. I did some exploring and found this really cool freaking island filled with more lapis than I would ever need. I also found this massive farm, so I cleared it out completely for XP. I looted a tower and I found another broken heart container as well. I found this villager with the freaking enchant upgraded potentials, so I locked him up for his own safety because this book is very rare, and if I ever have to do 200 days, I would like to be able to come back for him. I came back home and I did some enchanting and went back to exploring. I found a dungeon on this day and it was a massive dungeon. Me and my summons got attacked by so many crazy mobs, and I had to kill this freaking boss called Pong Kong, and it kept throwing its freaking poop at me, but it wasn't that hard to kill once you got, it trapped. It also dropped a plant soulstone as well. On the next floor, we killed more mobs and fought the next boss called Princess, and Princess was not very cute, and she also didn't need any rescuing either. We killed her pretty quickly and I got an avian soulstone from her. All that was left was the last floor and the last boss, the Malevolent Observer. This one annoyed me because it could fly, shoot projectiles, and it made this irritating noise. My summon still killed it, but my ears were not that lucky. And I also got Aberration Soulstone from it. On this day, I decided it was time to get ready for endgame, so I wanted to kill the Wither and the Dragon. I made my Eyes of Ender and I started looking for the fortress. While I was looking for the fortress, I killed a dragon and also looted a battle tower. After a good while searching for the fortress, I finally found it. I was now ready to fight the dragon. I jumped in and I spawned in this room, and when I dug out, I got attacked immediately. There were so many mobs attacking me, I was struggling to get on my mount. I got on my mount with literally only half a heart left on my head. And if I died here, it would have been so bad because I don't think I would have ever been able to get my stuff back. Now, I need to destroy all the crystals. The ones that were unprotected were easy, but there were some inside these structures and I had to be Hawkeye in order to destroy them. The last crystal was inside this cage and I had to get off my mount to break it. After I broke it, my mount was honestly playing with my life and my emotions. I just couldn't get it back on it. And by the time I got back on it, I only had one heart left on my head. Now, all I had to do was kill the dragon from a safe distance. It took a while, but I killed it. And the main problem here was that getting my XP and items from the ground without dying with all these demons running around was a problem. The mobs wouldn't leave me alone. But after a while, I got all the XP and the items I needed. But I couldn't pick up the freaking dragon egg because I just couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. There were so many mobs all around me. So I decided I was just going to leave without it. I killed a trapped sea serpent on this day. He was just asking to be killed. I also killed a dragon that was terrorizing this nearby village, and then I killed a second dragon that was next to it as well. I looted another massive battle tower and I got some XP and some glowing dust. I used the scales to reforge my armor, and I also ended the night by taming a Morok. And then I made some pet armor from my mounts. But look at the pretty mount I have. Isn't she beautiful? I found another dungeon and killed some mobs and left because I didn't feel like killing all the mobs in this freaking dungeon. I looted another 2 battle towers and then I killed another 2 dragons. And I killed the ice dragon as well. First one. I found this really cool sky town, and I also found this also really cool floating city or whatever this is. This day I was gonna fight the Wither. I wanted to fight the Wither before fighting the last 3 bosses, but I was scared that I wouldn't be further away from my base and that the Wither would escape and end up destroying my base. But it was pretty easy fight and it was pretty straightforward. I got my Nether star and now I can make my soul key. I also made a new bauble and it gave me wither and poison resistant. I went back to the Nether this day and I don't really know why. Oh, now I remember. I wanted to get more wither skulls so that I can fight the Wither a few more times for Nether stars. I fought the Wither once again and I got me another star for another soul key. I needed some soul stones for the portal, so I went to a dungeon. I killed everything in this dungeon, but I could not find the freaking boss. I started digging around trying to see if I can find the boss room, but I couldn't find anything. I had no idea where these things were. So I decided I was gonna go look for another dungeon instead. I found another dungeon and I cleared it out for the soul stones. Now I can fight the main bosses. Wish me luck. On this day, I was going to fight Asmodeus, the demonic mastermind. I was hoping that I was far enough from my base. I really wasn't, but I set up the portal and turned the key anyway. It immediately changed my surroundings and I had to summon my pets and my mounts immediately to attack this creature. The boss had multiple phases and each phase was kind of annoying. I had to dodge these freaking projectiles because they hurt a lot, and if I kept getting hit, it was going to kill me. While I was dodging them, my pets kept attacking Asmodeus, so really all I had to do was wait them out. This part was really funny to me because I killed Asmodeus, but he summoned a bunch of minions that killed me immediately. And then my freaking Totem of Undying popped, but I still died anyway. I used the grave scroll to get my stuff back, and now I only had 2 more bosses to fight. Today, I was going to fight Rohovart, Lord of the Underworld. But after I built my portal, I found out that I can only do it in the Nether, so I tore it all down and went to the Nether. I built my portal, and I got ready for the second main boss fight. As soon as the fight started, I summoned all my stuff, and I immediately rushed him. I was killing him, but I was also running out of water. So it was really a time thing to see if I can kill him before I freaking died of dehydration. After I killed him, I couldn't even see or get the stuff he dropped because there were so many mobs attacking me. I tried healing, but I ended up freaking dying. Back at my base, I decided to grab my extra gear and baubles, and then I used the gravestone to go back and get my stuff. I really hate the Nether so much in RLCraft because you can't even rest for 1 second. Literally everything attacks you. I wanted 1 second to get my stuff back. I couldn't even get that. After I got my stuff back, I wanted to see what the boss dropped, but I don't understand why everything blows up in the Nether. Like, can y'all please relax for 5 freaking minutes?
For 5 minutes!
I ran back into the arena to look for what the boss dropped, and I didn't see shit. There was nothing here but mobs and fire. I got back on my mount to see if I can get a better view of the items, and I still couldn't find anything. And then guess what happened? A freaking event started, and guess what the event was? Flying, exploding mobs, because of course it is. I was so sick of these things, and I couldn't outrun them because they were so fast. The only way for me to beat them was to shoot them while I was, running away. They were on my butt the whole time, and I was so stressed because if I died, there was probably no way I could get my stuff back if I fell in lava. After I killed most of the flying scary skulls, I came back to the arena to keep looking for my stuff, but I gave up because I couldn't see it, so I found another Nether portal and went back home. Now, I didn't think I had enough time to fight Malgalich since it was already day 99, so I decided I was just going to find some cool things instead. I found this Guardian Temple to loot, but there really wasn't anything inside of it, so I found something else to loot. I found this dungeon over here underwater, and it was pretty cool. There was some really good gear in here. I found an Electra in here. This dungeon had such good loot that it didn't even make sense because the difficulty for this dungeon was really, really low. And then I found this dungeon inside of another dungeon. It went pretty deep underground, and it was pretty chaotic deep underground. There were so many mobs that I couldn't even think straight. And at a certain point, I lost my freaking sword right here. And I didn't even notice that I lost it right here. So my dumb self didn't even know where my sword was, and I just had to use my bow to survive. At a certain point, I started looking for my sword, but I could not find it. And at a certain point, I think I just decided that it's already, day 100. I don't care anymore. And I swear, I looked up every single inch of this floor for the sword, but I couldn't find it. So I decided I was just going to go back home and take the L. I've been recording for over 5 hours, and it was just time to put an end to these hellish 100 days. Thanks for watching, guys. This video was a real pain in the butt to create. It took over a month just to get everything together. So if you guys enjoyed it, please like and subscribe, as it will be a huge help to the channel, and you can always change your mind later. I had a ton of fun playing this mod pack, and it was also very, very difficult. But I don't think I can do 200 days on this mod pack since they just updated it, and the newer version is not compatible with older saves. I don't really know where to go from this mod pack because I'm kind of sick of the super heavily modded mod packs. So I may do some less modded mod pack series on my channel just for like a breath of fresh air or something new. But I don't know. Maybe I'll do like a zombie apocalypse or something. But I'm with the Chuck, guys, and it's been a pleasure. I'll catch you guys next time.